Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so welcome to this online session. We hope to give you an introduction to Matsubayashiryu fundamentals. We'll go through warm-up, Kihon Dosa, and our introductory kata, Fukyukata, Ichi, and Naihanchi, Shodan. And if we have time, within our approximately 90 minutes that we've planned to work, we'll also do a little bit on Bojutsu, just as a brief introduction to the basics of that. We will take a break about halfway through, and I'm happy to take any questions that you have. One of the best ways to do that is if a question comes up and you have the opportunity, you can put it into the chat function attached to this meeting, and then when we take a break, we can come in and check those. As we don't have a lot of groups here, I think we should have time to take questions and discuss those. All right, you're welcome to, well actually it's probably a good idea when we're doing the fundamental training that you turn your microphones off so that we don't overlap each other's sound. All right, so we're going to start as we usually do with a bow and then we'll go into warm up. So we're going to bow to you guys first, otagai ni rei, so kiotsuke, otagai ni rei, right? And then we're going to bow to the front of the dojo and you can join us. Kiotsuke. Rei. Okay, I'm joined here today by Tamashiro Sensei and Shon Sensei, both Matsubayashiryu practitioners, and thank you very much for your assistance. Okay, so let's go into our warming up phase. Please follow along as best as you can. We were doing a warm up where you can work on the spot, so should be relatively straightforward. The principle that we use with warming up is we start from the extremities and work into the core with our movements. Okay, so we're going to start with feet shoulder width apart and put your weight onto the balls of your feet. So your heels are nice and light, okay, hands on hips, and we're going to roll up onto our tiptoes and then down and lift the toes. So roll up and then roll down and lift the toes. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, chu. Good, okay. From here, half squat. So we just go down half a squat. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Deeper, elbows to knees. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Now hands to the mat. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Okay, good. Where we are, just jumping on the spot. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And legs forwards and backwards. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Sideways. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Good, okay. We're going to do knee lift. We're going to lift the knee up to our hands. Try and keep your hands at shoulder height. So you really want to work on using the muscles in front of your thighs here. Okay, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, chu. Good, and across. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, chu. Good. Hands on hips, rotation. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Other way. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Good. I want you to imagine that you're holding a beach ball in your hands. We're going to take the beach ball and we're going to rotate around in a circle. So up, rotate around, drop down, come back, and to the front. And again, ich, ni, san, shi, go. Okay, good. Leg raises. We're going to have a straight leg, bring the toes up to the hands. The hands are out at about 45 degrees. Okay, so toes to fingers. From the left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, chu. Good. Same thing, hands forward, so kicking forwards. Leg raise. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, chu. Good. Hands out to the side. So we're going to open the hips, lift the toes up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, jip. Good. Just stretch up, go forwards, come back, and stretch the back. So I'll do it from the side just so you can see it. We go up, come down with straight legs, come back, and bend backwards. Right, same thing. Okay, ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Good. Where you are, feet planted, we're going to twist. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Good. Okay, let's jump up to the head. We're going to look left, look right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Forwards and down, back and up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. Tilt the head to the side. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. And take the head in the circle. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Other direction. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Good. With a relaxed hand, I'm just going to turn again so you can see, but you stay where you are. We're going to massage from the head down through the neck, down through the shoulder, and come back up. So right hand, right side. Hey, it's all the way down. Just give yourself a light massage. Relaxed hand. Change, left hand. Keep it relaxed. It's good. Going back to the right side. Using your two fingers, I'm going to push into the cavity at the point of the jaw. Okay, push and draw down. Push and draw down. So we're going to activate these points here and draw down. Activate the points and draw down. Other side. Right. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Okay, good. I'm going to roll the shoulders forward. So not the arms, just the shoulder. We're going to roll the shoulder forward. So we're going to draw a circle with our shoulder. We want to try to move our shoulder blade mostly, yeah? So we're not lifting our arms yet, just working the shoulder rotation. Again, we want to roll the shoulder like this, okay? So we're going to go forwards, alternate shoulders. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Now we go back the other way, pull back. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. Now we'll rotate the arms. So forwards, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. And backwards. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Okay, good. Left side forward, left leg forward. We're going to rotate the right arm. So this is going to come as vertical as possible. We want to rotate from the shoulder. Try and relax the shoulder joint so you allow it to move to the maximum amount of rotation. Try to drop any stiffness or tension which stops you from lifting your arm. Okay, relax. Left side forward. Right arm's going to rotate. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. And then back the other way. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. Change. Right side forward, left arm rotating. Forwards. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. And back. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. Okay. Elbow rotation. So we're going to rotate forwards from the elbow. Rotate from the elbow. Hey. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. And backwards. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. Just shake off the wrists. Okay, we drop. Stretch the wrists out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good, okay, and stretch the fingers together. Ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good, all right. Okay, one additional practice we're going to do is something very simple. We're going to practice closing and opening our fists. This is very, very simple, but sometimes it's important just to kind of check that we're doing even the most basic things correctly. Why is making a fist important? Mainly to protect your hands from getting unnecessarily hurt when you start striking things, or even just when you're working with somebody and you don't want your fingers to get caught and damaged. Even the most embarrassing is when you catch your fingers in your own dogi and hurt yourself. So let's just work on, just as a part of the warm-up, how we're going to close our fists. Okay, so we're going to close from the little finger, and bring the fingers in so that the fingers are square. And then we close the thumbs in front. All right, so if I look from the side, looks like this, and from here, if I look from the front, I don't see my thumbs. The thumbs are tucked away. Okay. Word of caution, I am not putting my thumb inside my fingers. Do not do that. Fingers close first, thumb comes over, and wraps across what becomes the bottom of the fingers. One thing to be careful of here is that the thumb doesn't end up poking forwards like this, because if you hit something with your fist, that thumb will be the first thing that hits it and you'll hurt yourself. All right, so let's just do this as a warm-up exercise, closing and opening, closing and opening. All right, so have our hands forward like this, close and open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open. Ich, ni, 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 ich, ni. Okay, good. Fantastic. All right. So, next section and warm-up, we're going to do static basics. So, make sure that you have enough space. Okay? And we'll go into a deeper stance. So we're not going into a very deep stance yet, but just a little bit down. Legs slightly wider than shoulder width, and left hand Shodan ski. So left hand, center level, punch. Okay. When we punch, we're going to replace the other hand into exactly the same position in front of us. So we are punching to our center line every time. Okay? The level is the level of our solar plexus, so mid-chest. Right? So, let's go slow. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. So one of the characteristics of our style is that we hold the hikite, the pulled back hand, a little bit higher to the side of the rib. So it should be there on the side of your rib cage. Okay? There's reasons for this. But one of them is that we want to a straight possible short line from A to B. So a little bit higher to the side of the rib cage. One more time. 10 reps. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. When you're striking now, it's got a bit of focus at the end of the movement. So the end being that last piece where we drop fist in. So if we look at this slowly, as I change, this hand isn't moving yet. It only moves at the end. And when I come in, I rotate at the end and change. So be careful not to pull this out of the way, leaving a gap before then filling the other punch. We want to imagine that we have to keep this position, not give it up until we are ready to replace with the other hand. At the end, focus into driving the first two knuckles forwards. So there's a sense of flexing, and driving the knuckles forward at the end of the motion. For those of you a little more advanced, that means that most of this movement is relaxed. This is relaxed, this is relaxed, this is relaxed, and the tension comes there. All right, so in the last 10 to 20 centimeters, do you put tension and then set into a structure for the point of impact? As soon as that impact has happened, we relax again. We don't go weak and floppy, but we don't stay completely rigid. Yeah, so this is more like hitting with a whip than hitting with a steel bar and remaining like a steel bar structure. Okay, our characteristic of our style is that we use a lot more whipping motion. So when we're punching, therefore, we don't sacrifice structure, but we put the tension at the end of the phase. All right, so we're not going to go super fast, but I want you now to put more tension at the end. Right? Okay, so again, Hidari Kamae. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Now punch to Jodan. Jodan is approximately in front of your nose. Yeah, so start with Hidari Chudan. The next punch will be Jodan, migi, ski. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Continue. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. Okay, so. Okay, combinations. So we're just going to do a double punch. Jodan, Chudan. Jodan, Chudan. Okay? Jodan is your nose level. Chudan is your solar plexus level. So use your level, not somebody else's, when you're doing solo practice as you are. Your nose level, your solar plexus. Okay? So it's going to be on a single count, 2 punch. It's going to be a Jodan, Chudan. All right? Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. Change hands. Good. Try not to set into a rhythm. Try to respond to the count and move as fast as you can. So if I don't count, you don't move. All right? So this is a general rule when we're doing this practice, is don't set into a rhythm. Okay? Try to move when you hear the count. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. All right, excellent. So now we're going to go to a 3 count. We're going to add a geidan ski. So our geidan ski is going to go to our own belt level. That's going to be our low level geidan. Yeah? So we're going to go Jodan, Chudan, geidan. So 1 count, 3 techniques. I desu ka? Hey! Ni! San! Shi! Go! Rock! Shich! Hach! Kyu! Ju! Sorry, bear with me, lost my mic. 10 more. Again, start with geidan, Hidari Kamae. And again, 10 more. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Alright, okay, now it. Good. Okay. So, from here, we're going to move into uke positions. Okay, so first, Jodan uke, upper receiving position. So, I'm going to use the word receive for the techniques that in Japanese are called uke. Generally in English, that's translated into block, upper block, middle block, lower block. Okay, I don't like that word. And the reason why is that uke in Japanese means to receive. It doesn't mean to stop or to block. It's actually an opposite meaning. So we are going to receive, receive, receive. Okay, but let's focus just on the upper for now. So again, we're going to stay as we are in our slightly flexed, sprung loaded stance with our weight a little bit forwards onto the balls of the feet rather than back on the ankles. Okay, because we need the body to be added to this movement over time. Right, so let's go to Hidari Jodonuke position. Jodonuke should cover your center line, be approximately one fist in front of your head, and be at an angle. Yeah, flat is no good. We want it at an angle, as if water would run down the arm. Yeah. Okay. When we bring it down through the center, and replace through the center. Okay. When we bring it down, we will bring it down as if to do uchi-uke, an inside parry. Yeah, and then replace and come up. All right, so down, replace and come up. Down, replace and come up. So just stay relaxed. Don't worry about putting strength into this yet or speed. Okay, just work on the structure and the shape. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see it. You stay as you are. Right? Right. Continue. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. So I find it useful to do this as if I was punching up here, as if I was punching. In reality, these positions, the upper, the middle, and the lower position, all of them can be used as attacking techniques. So we're not just going to use these positions for parrying or blocking. Yeah, we use them for attacking as well. So we want to be able, therefore, to put the same energy, the same snap into these techniques that we would put into a punch, into a strike. Okay, so one more time, left hand stance. Okay, when we get to the top, put kime, focus into that rotation at the top. So I'm just going to come down here so you guys can see my hand is not rotating yet. It's rotating at the last second. When I bring it down, it leads from the elbow. So the rotation happens naturally. Okay. When I bring it up, I'm looking at my palm. Still looking at my palm, then the rotation happens in the last segment. Again, the last 10, 20 centimeters. All right, so there's a snap at the end. Okay, and when we move on to a more advanced level, we're going to connect that movement to our whole body. But for now, let's just try and get this structure correct. Okay, right. So one more time. Right. Stay relaxed. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good, all right. Now with a little more snap and a little more speed, but try not to lose this technique that we're doing, all right? Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. I always try to give a little visualization or an explanation of why we do things that we do. And we're not going to go into that a long explanation, but just to visually give you an idea about why that type of movement can be useful. Right, so Sensei, if you don't mind. So Sensei comes forward with a punch. And if I just use a simple rising motion, he stays pretty much on line. Now, I may have been able to lift his arm. I may have been able to. But if he's strong, I won't have been able to. Okay, and he'll still be in the center. But you see here, he is still in front of me. I'm still in front of him. I'm still in his striking zone, right? So I haven't really achieved any advantage. Okay? As I said, 受けしてくださいね。簡単な Masuganuke. Hey. Okay. If you're going against someone bigger and stronger, there's a good chance that this won't even lift the striking hand away from the strike zone as well, right? So if we're a little softer and quicker, then we use this to pivot and move around, yeah? And then we have hooking motions where we would look to trap and strike, for example. If we do it at this line here, sensei. Okay, so he's punching to my center line, right? Center line punch, yeah? I am going to use that motion, yeah, to affect his path, right? Here, strike. Or, even if I stay half in the center, right? I can utilize this as a striking motion through here, yeah? So, in this case, the movement's going to look like two Jodanukes, right? So, here's my first one here, and there's my second one there. Yeah? 1, 2. Okay? So, thank you, Sensei. Just to illustrate that this position has many possible uses. Okay, let's push on. We were looking at Jodanuke. Now we're going to go to Chudanuke. Again, go back to your balance practice stance. Okay, so Chudanuke. Okay? Chudanuke position should only come as wide as the side of your body. Okay, it doesn't need to go any wider. So it should stop, its range of motion should stop there. You don't need to push any further, okay? But we do need to cover our center line. So we're not going to do this kind of thing and leave our center line open. We're going to cover our center line and then replace with the other hand. Cover the center line, replace with the other hand. Cover, replace, cover, replace. So you see that the receiving, the blocking, if you want, is happening here. Okay, let's do this together in a count. So everybody, Hidari Kamai, left hand side, please. Okay, we'll go slowly. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Good. So often when we think about this mid-level sideways receiving technique, we think just about kind of almost like using this like windscreen wipers, right? We're just kind of wiping, sometimes just with one, kind of wiping that space to clear it. You know, and here we start to use two, just like two windscreen wipers on a car, okay? But there's also this dimension here, right? So you can just keep them in the same plane where they are, this plane, and use them, but you also have opportunity to extend forward too. So extend forward and then cover. Extend forwards and then cover. This becomes a much more attack and defense combined motion. Right? I go forward to intercept, to catch, to parry, or to strike, and then I come through and secure behind for the next position. So think about the opportunity here, yeah, to go slightly forward. The hips are a little bit mobile. Yeah, I'm not stepping, but the hip stretches, okay? And as it goes, I cover my center line and cover. If you guys are familiar with kata, which we call Naihanchi Shodan in our system, and which we will practice later on in this. So we have this, yeah? We have this motion, yeah? I think in Teki it looks a little more like this, yeah? That's this kind of thing, yeah? Okay? The variation on that is not so much drawing the hand back, but just thrusting it forward. And that thrusting movement comes from our hips, okay? So we're jumping to a little more advanced movement here, but I want you to understand the potential of this middle movement. Let's go back then to our middle stance, okay? And we're going to do the same thing. So left hand out, right hand back at hikite, okay? And again, chudan yokuke, going from the left. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go, rock, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. So again, very briefly, what does the application of that look like? Shon Sensei, if you wouldn't mind. Okay. So Shon Sensei comes at me with a strike. I cover that, yeah, and move in. Okay. And that's taking me to my Chudanuke position, but broken his stance and exposed his back and his side, which is a target where I have an advantage. Yeah. So same thing again. He punches. I instinctively cover. Yeah, and then I look to move in and use this. Just pivot slightly. When I get to here, I'm in the right line to then use this, yeah, as we did in the kata, to use this short punch potential. And if I hit here, which would stretch his body open, then a dropping punch into the ribs, into the side would be that much more devastating. Okay, so that combination is there, as we see, for example, in our Naihanchi kata. Thank you, Shon Sensei. Hey. Okay, so just because we're limited for time, we're going to move on. So we've done Chudanuke, yeah? I'm going to go to Geidan Barai, or Geidanuke. Okay, so let's just get the movement and structure correct. Again, the arms shouldn't go wider than the perimeter of the edge of your body. Okay, and right now I'm holding my hands kind of in front of my belt level. Yeah, because I'm stood in a natural stance. This isn't very deep at the moment. It's just going down to belt level. Okay, from here, I'm going to bring the other hand across and chamber at the top of my shoulder. I'm going to ride it down as if this hand is sliding down the other arm, and then replace. So come up and replace. Come up and replace. And the two hands work together. Yeah, they work together and move at the same time. Okay, right. So let's just do this. Start from Hidari Kamai. We're going to go slow, okay? Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good. When you bring this hand up, again, you're kind of looking at the palm of your hand. But by the time it gets to the bottom, it's going to rotate out and down. So now your palm is facing down, and you've rotated at the end of the motion. Much like we rotate at the end of this motion, at the end of this motion, and at the end of this motion too. So they're all similar, yeah? So again, let's go from left hand stance out, left hand out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, kyu, ju. Good, okay. So if we were to look at this from the side, you guys stay where you are, okay? Then right now we're bringing the hand up, chambering at the shoulder, dropping down, bringing the hand up, dropping down. That's fine. That's a good place to start. Okay, so it gets us into the habit of kind of the hand chambering and being in the right place. More of the applications, so more advanced for higher Q grades and certainly for black belt levels, is that this hand is coming out and meeting and receiving the attack, or indeed manipulating against, if you've been grabbed, manipulating the other person's arm, for example. So Geidan Barai, yeah, is a low sweep. Literally means that in Japanese, okay? So that means that we take the energy from a mid-level or a high level, and we drop low. Yeah, it's the energy going down. So it's not just necessarily a low block to a low kick, for example. In fact, actually, a lot of the uses we see in our kata are more about working from a mid-level down to a low level. So, if you are just getting used to this motion, you can stick with chambering and dropping, chambering and dropping. Work on the rotation. The rotation is really, really important. Rotating in, rotating out. Rotating in, rotating out. If you have a bit more experience, then let's now work like we are going forward and protecting our center line. Protecting our center line, and then manipulating and circle motion down. Yeah, we catch and sweep down. We catch and sweep down. So we're going to catch away from the body. We're not going to leave it to the last minute to try and catch something here, right? We're going to go forwards. And again, we see, therefore, the fundamental motion position from our Naihanchi kata. yeah, where we are at 45 degrees to the upper arm and reaching forwards. So, right, so for those of you that are there, we'll do 20 more repetitions, but with the variation of going forwards and sweeping down, forwards and sweeping down. Okay, ready? Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Okay, good. Okay, nowadays, which means relax, right? Again, just to illustrate, if we were to look at, Sensei, if you don't mind, typical uses of that kind of motion. Very simple ones. Sensei comes in for a strike, a sweep down and away. Yeah? Sweep down and away, which pulls him down, and again, opens up. Okay? If I was to go the other way, here, yeah, and he comes in, sweep, down, okay, and then I'm in position to strike. Yeah? 1, 2, forwards. Okay? And again, here if I'm catching, then this motion here, yeah, punches come in, trapped, and this one's coming down and working against his elbow. All right, so 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, manipulating against the elbow joint. Okay. Thanks, Sensei. All right. Okay, so we are going to jump into Kihon Dosa. Kihon Dosa. Okay. Actually, sorry. Before we do that, we need to look at one more hand technique, which is shuto, knife hand. Okay. So again, from where we're standing now, we're just going to step forward into hammi kamai. So rather than a square stance, we're now going to take a angled stance. Okay. Our legs are still basically at shoulder width or just slightly wider, but now the left leg is forward so that the legs are at 45 degrees to the front and the side angle. Okay? We're going to use shuto position here. So I'll just step forward a little more. Okay, our shuto from the side is the two hands working together as a team. The front hand is vertical for this practice. Okay, and the elbow tucked in front of the body. Try not to let the elbow flare out. Keep that in. The other hand's here. And you see that my hand is across my center line. This is not a hikite movement. I'm not trying to pull this one back now. The hands are forward, working as a team. Okay? What we do is very basic practice where we pull in here as if sweeping across and covering our face and then snapping back to the front line. Yeah? So we sweep, snap back to the front line. Sweep, snap back to the front line. Okay? Good. Try and maintain this stance and try to avoid falling into hikite. Hikite becomes something we get kind of do by default as karateka, right? But hikite is only something that we should use sometimes, not all the time. Okay, so hidari kamai, left hand side, forward, left leg. Okay, and by the way, I'm stood 50-50. My weight is distributed 50-50 between my feet. Okay, hi. So ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Good. Really focus on this. Oh, we've lost our participants. Sorry, gentlemen, they're still here. Just bear with us while we hopefully get them back into the meeting. Oh, there we go. Hey, you're back in the room. Excellent. Okay, welcome back, guys. Hi. Hi. So, shutokamai. Hi. Focus on the hand technique. The legs are just relaxed and not really moving at the moment. Draw and then come back to the center line. Draw, come back to center line. Hai. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Good. Change sides. Hai. So right hand, right leg forward. Feet at 45 degrees. Draw in and return. Okay. Check that the hand is vertical and the elbow is tucked in. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. And again, ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Good, okay. For those of you who are more advanced and experienced, you will have noticed that the movement is not just the hands moving, the hip is actually leading and drawing this motion. So in Matsubayashiryu, we tend to have a quite mobile stance when it comes to moving the hips. We want to use the hip like a spring. We pull in the spring and then we release it. Pull in the spring and release it. So the hip is like a coiled car spring. We pull it in and then we release. When we release, we're not really using the arm muscles, it's the hips. Okay? Okay, so. Right, so let's move forward. We're going to go into our Kihon Dosa, which are basic movements. These are a fundamental set of exercises that were developed by Nagamine Shoshin, who founded our style and our school, and are really important for drilling the modes of movement that we utilize, the major modes of movement that we utilize in our kata sequences, and therefore we should be able to utilize, hopefully, in our actual karate. So we are going to go through these, and then we'll take a break after this. Okay? So I'm going to step back. Right? So hopefully you guys can see us. Right? We're going to go from Shizentai, natural stance, step forward with the left leg into cat stance. And the hands are going to go onto our waist, just to keep the hands out of the way. So when we step forward into cat stance, our forward leg is pointed directly forwards. Our rear leg is at 45 degrees to that angle. Okay? I know in Shodan, for example, it's common to step to a 90-degree stance, more like kokutsudachi. We don't want to do that right now, because when I do that, the hip is pointing off to the side. We want the hip to be a lot more to the front. The body's at 45 degrees, so that your black belt or your belt, whatever you're wearing, should be an indicator. It should be at about 45 degrees to the front, rather than 90 or close to 90, okay? So, hidari kamae, neko ashidachi. This is a movement exercise, so what we're going to do is step and move. We'll step from the front foot. The front foot moves first. We step, heel, roll onto the toe, and then come back onto our rear leg. So we step, heel, toe, and then come back to our cat stance. Just to show you from the side, just watch for a moment. Try not to look down. Everybody does, but try not to. Okay, heel, toe, and step back. Heel, toe, and not step back, weight back onto the rear. So that your fundamental stance is mostly weighted here, 80%, and light at the front, maybe 20% of your body weight. Okay? Let's give that a try. We'll work left, we'll turn and work right. So we're going to stay on the left side until we turn then on the right side. Okay, so hidari kamae. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Good. Turn, pivot. Now you should be right foot forward. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. And pivot. Good. We're going to do that one more time. Okay? This should be a quick, light step. Try, if you have the sound of dragging feet when you're doing this, no good. Pick up the feet and step. There should be no dragging sound. Okay, there should be no dragging sound, light, quick step. All right, let's do this again. Hai, ready, kamaite. From the left. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Good. Turn from your hip. Hey. Right side. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. And turn from your hip. Okay, and relax. Good. Okay. The next motion simply builds on that. We're going to add a kick before we do the step forwards. So we're still going to work from the left-hand side as we come up and then change for the right-hand side on the way back. Okay, same stance. Keep that 80%, 20% weighted. Kick at least to your own belt height, higher if you can. This is not really a kicking exercise, but the kick forces us to balance on our rear leg. And that's really what this movement is about as much as anything, is building up the strength and the balance and your control of your center of gravity over your rear leg. Yeah? you should not be stood up at this point. You should be down, and the rear leg should be like a spring. Your leg will get tired. That's why we do this. We want this to happen. Yeah? Okay, so Hidari Kamae, kick, and then Nekurashi. Right? Kamae to kudasai. Ready? From the left. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. And turn. Right side. Continue. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. And turn. And relax. Nowadays. Good. Okay. The next motion will again be cat stance, but now we'll introduce Shuto Kamae in the hands. But this time, our change from one cat stance to the other is a different movement. We're going to rotate and step forwards. Rotate and step forwards. So, without the hands, just so you can see the legs, we're going to rotate and step. Rotate and step. Try to rotate from your hips, and then the step forward is natural because your body weight is moving along your front line. Okay, so don't think about stepping, think about turning, and then you'll move forward. Turning, and then you'll move forward. Okay, while we're doing this now, shuto. Okay, if you turn your hips, it will push your rear hand forward with your hip, yeah? The hip moves, the hand moves, yeah? Okay? So allow the hand to come forwards over that other hand. Don't pull it back all the way. Okay, it's kind of a slightly bad habit. Go forwards, and the hand and the leg go forwards together. Go forwards, and the hand and the leg go forwards together. From the side. Okay, sorry, off camera there. You get the idea. Okay, we can do this slowly. This is work on the technique. Don't worry about speed or power. Okay, so everybody, left stance, Nekurashi dachi, Shuto Kamae with the hands. Okay, so we're going to step into the right stance next. Ichi. Now left, ni, san, shi, go. Okay. Turn as we did before, from the hip, hey, and continue the same. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Turn, hey. Okay. At this stage, I just want to do a visual check and see how you're doing with that. So what I'd like you to do is do 5 more repetitions. Go back to your starting point, please. Go back, okay? And do 5 repetitions up, turn, 5 repetitions back. Okay, do them in your own time, that's fine. I just want to do a little visual check, okay? Hey, dozo, hajime. Please proceed. When you get to the end, turn and continue, go backwards. Go back to continue the movement back to the back of the dojo. Okay, excellent. All right. That's pretty good. Okay, a couple of things to look out for when you're doing this. Okay, try to avoid the separation of the hands. So it can be tempting when you move to separate the hands. Yeah, try to avoid separating the hands. Okay, the hands stay together and move. So if I do it from an angle, yeah, try to avoid at this point, for example, a separation. The hands move together forwards. Now that doesn't mean that this one is pushing this one. There's no pushing or like fortifying. It's not doing that. They're staying together as a team. Yeah? They're staying together as a team. Just touching just together, okay? So try to avoid a space opening up here. Okay, good. Otherwise, that's great. Let's continue, right? So the next variation on this, we've done Shuto at the upper level, Chudan or Jodan. Now we'll go Shuto Gedan Barai. Okay, so just so you guys can see, I think my camera shifted slightly, so I'm just going to move it down slightly. Bear with me, okay? I think that's better, so you can see feet and everything. Right, so now we go, same. Nekurashi, Shuto Kamae, but Shuto sweeping to the low section. Now when we step through, the dynamic is the same. We come through with the hip, but we sweep low. We come through with the hip, but sweep low. All right, let's go through 5 repetitions. Slowly, try and work on this as a technical exercise, and then we'll go back. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Good. Turn. When you turn and go to kamae. Yeah, the low shuto kamae. And continue. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Turn. Hey. Let's do that one more time. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Good. For your more advanced grades, really try to initiate the motion from your hips. And then the legs and the hands go with. Turn. Hey. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Hey. Good. Okay, now it. Okay. Next motion is junzuki. Junzuki means straight punch, forward punch. Okay. So we are going to walk naturally and punch. Walk naturally and punch. So no crescent stepping. We're not deep in a stance. We're stood very much upright. But do not lock your knees. Keep a little bit of flex in the knees. And your weight distribution should be, again, about 50-50. Maybe slightly to the front here because you are trying to move forward and put force forward. Okay? So when we step, we punch. We step, punch. When we turn, step, punch. Step, punch. Get the feet in the right place first and then punch. So the feet lead. In reality, the hip is going to lead again, but let's get the feet in place and then punch. So try to avoid this. Okay? The feet and the lower body leads and then the hands follow. Okay, so Junzuki Chudan, which means punch to chest level. Hidari kamae, left stance. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Good, turn. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Turn. Okay. Again, for more advanced level practitioners, there's a wave of motion here, a wave of motion. Yeah, the wave begins in your center and is expressed through your hand. Yeah? The motion begins here and continues through your hand, okay? So that's how the motion joins up, becomes one. Although the body leads, the hand follows, is connected. And as we get better at this, that all happens quicker and quicker and together joined up. So we'll do that one more set and we'll try and work on that joined up wave motion. Hidari kamae, left hand stance. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Turn. Hey. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Turn. Hey. Hey, now there. Good. Okay, good. Next motion, Jodanuke. So, we looked at our Jodanuke position, we did static basics. Now we're going to step and execute our Jodanuke. Step and Jodanuke. The stepping is the same as we just did in the last Junzuki. Natural stepping, as if walking. Okay? You're going to be fairly upright and there's a rising motion. Try to keep your weight on the balls of your feet. Yeah, in fact, through all of these exercises, weight not back on your heels, forwards over the ball or center of your foot, okay? Hi, so hidari, jodanuke, kamae. Step and then execute the hand. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Turn, hey, and kamae. Hey, ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Turn, hey, and cover. Okay, good. Hey, now it. Okay, good. Next movement is Gyakuzuki kamae. So we're going to start with, I'll just turn to the side so you can see, left leg forward, right hand. Now we go into a slightly longer, slightly deeper stance. Okay, our weight should be slightly more to the front. We definitely do not want to be straight-legged and our weight leaning backwards. We want the weight forward and committed to the punch. On the flip side, do not overextend. Okay? Don't overreach and overextend because we don't want to lose our balance. Yeah? So we want to find that sweet spot where we are balanced and secure, but our weight is into and behind the punch. Okay? Our hikite, as we said before, is going to stay up here on the hips, so that when we step, punch, we're punching to the same place, which is going to be level with our chest. So let's try some repetitions. So from Shizentai, hai, gyakuzui kamae. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we turn, we use geidan barai and then punch from the hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn. Good. Okay, so again, I'd like to do a visual check at this point. So I'd like you to do 5 more repetitions, turn and do 5 more repetitions. Okay, so kamaite, again, gyakuzui kamae, get ready. Okay. Okay, hajime. Okay, when you turn, don't turn into Junzuki. Don't forget when you turn to put in that punch so that you go back to Gyakuzuki Kamae, yeah? Okay, right, so we're going to have to kick to this. So, again, we're going to go Gyakuzuki Kamae, but we'll lead with a kicking motion, kick, and then step in. Kick from the rear foot, right under the lead hand. So the kick is going to come there, right under the hand, yeah? Kick, maigeri, and punch. Okay, so it's kette, gyakuzuki, kick and reverse punch. Hai, hidari kamae, left foot, right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn, geidan barai, and then reverse punch. Continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn, hai. Hai. Now it. Good. All right, so next position. Zenkutsudachi geidan barai. Zenkutsudachi in Japanese means forward low stance. And we're going to use geidan barai technique. This is the same as we did when we're standing up. We're going to execute this the same way. Okay, basically here, sliding down, or more advanced, a little more forward and coming down. Okay, deeper stance, Zenkutsudachi, so you guys can see, deeper stance now. This rear leg should be as straight as possible. The rear foot at about 45 degrees or slightly less. Front knee bent sufficiently that you cannot see your toes from your perspective. Okay, your hips should be turned to the front as much as possible. I know in Shotokan you tend to be more turned to the side. We don't want that. Okay, forwards. Okay, this position. All right, so let's take that position. We step through left and right. Hey, kamaite. Try to avoid bobbing up and down. Stay at the same level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hai. Okay. Hai. Now it. Good. Okay. Good. Right. Oitsuki. So oitsuki is our lunging punch position. Okay. So from our shizentai, we're going to step forward into the left stance and turn to the side. We go deeper into a jigotai stance, okay, and pull the rear hand back again into hikite. Yeah, so this one is back to to the side, and this fist is out. So, from the front, I step in, yeah, and now I'm going to cut a narrow line. As I go forward, I twist my hips, I step through, and I twist the other way. Yeah, so try to avoid what we might call sumo stepping, so coming around. No, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is move from this sideways position, pivot, and step through into the sideways position again. Try to imagine you have to move through a narrow corridor. Right? Okay? So, kiai wa shinaku te me, just to keep it simple. Kiai nashi. Okay, so, hirari kamae. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now, just change head and arm direction and go back same way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Change direction. Right, now it. Good. Let's see how you guys do with that. Okay, this can be a bit of a challenge, this one, so let's see how you do. Let's see if we can help you with anything. So one more time, please. Kamaite, hidari, oitsuki, kamae. Nice, good. One of the functions of this exercise is to build the strength in the legs in a deeper stance, because we don't use deep stances a lot. We tend to use higher ones, so we still need to build the strength in the stance. So you want to kind of appreciate the opportunity here to use a deeper stance and build the strength in your legs, yeah? Okay, ready, itch. Good, try not to step up and come down. Imagine that you've got to move underneath a ceiling as well. So you can't go up and down, you have to move sideways. Ni. San. Change hands and head direction. Okay, legs should be equidistant and at the same angle. Ich. Ni. San. Change direction. Good, that was much better. Hi, relax. Thank you. Okay, last exercise in this group is Shodan Yoku Uke. And essentially we looked at this when we did our static basics. This is our Shodan Yoku Uke. But now we do it as a moving. So we're going to step into you guys can't see my stance, so we'll step into that forward angled natural stance. So I'm still stood with a width which is the same, equivalent to my shoulder width, but at an angle. I'm step and change. Step and change. Step first and then execute the change, okay? Okay, so this is Shodan Yokuke, Hidari kamae, hai, kamaete, left stance. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Turn, hai. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Turn, hai. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Turn, hai. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. And turn, hai. Hai, now it. Hai, kiotsuke. That's the end of the set. Hai, Kihon Dosa arimasu. Otogani rei. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you. Do you have any questions at this stage?
I had a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't train Naihanchi that often. I just had a quick question with regards to the movement. Hopefully you can see my foot.
Yep.
Okay. So when you move forward in Naihanchi,
yes.
Do you rotate on the ball of the foot, or is it like on the heel?
On the ball.
Or is that a big deal?
On the ball of the foot.
Oh, the ball of the foot. Okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is we're generally holding our weight on the ball of our feet anyway. And secondly, if you rotate on the ball, you move forwards. But if you rotate on the heel, you stay more or less where you are. So,
I see. Okay.
So yes, definitely rotate on the ball of the foot. There's one or two positions in our kata where we're using shuto-uke. So in our Pinan kata, in our Kushanku kata, where it feels more natural to rotate on the heel. But by and large, when we're using nekoashi and shuto, we're rotating on the ball of the foot forwards. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good question. Okay, no more questions? Great. We're going to proceed. I'll just adjust the camera again a little bit. Okay, so in the next section, and a little more. Next section, I'd like to go through and work on our fundamental kata. We'll start with Fukyukata Ichi and then go to Naihanchi Shodan. Right, so we're going to go through Fukyukata Ichi. Fukyukata Ichi is the name of our first fundamental kata. This kata, just to give you a little bit of context, was created by Nagamine Shoshin sensei, who founded our style. And the kata was created around 1941. And it was designed to be a kata that could be taught and learnt easily, but was built on some of the fundamental kind of positions and movements from the Shorin-ryu tradition of Okinawan karate. All right, so what we'd like you to do, we're going to walk through it nice and slow. Please do your best to follow along, okay? And we'll see how we do. Okay, so we start from Kyotsuke. Go to Yoi. So Yoi, we just bring the hands together, and the left hand is resting on the right hand. And the hands are held just in front of the body, okay? Thumbs closed in against the fingers. So, initial position, we're going to turn to our left. We're going to step slightly backwards so that we get some width in our stance that when we turn, okay? And we're going to chamber the hand and drop into Geidan Barai. Okay, so, ready? Yoi. Ich. So we turn to the side, to the left side. Step and punch to Shodan. Ni. Good. From here we're going to go back in the direction that we came. So we're going to bring the right hand in to the shoulder, left shoulder and chamber. Step back diagonally so that we have enough width in our stance. And then drop into Geidan Barai. Right? This is position 3. Now we step into, again, Chudan Ski. Sheep. Good. From here, we're going to go back to our forward direction. So we're going to chamber our left hand to our right shoulder. Step with left leg, ensuring that we've got enough width when we turn, and drop into Geidan Barai. This is position 5. We step into 6, which is punch, Chudan Ski. Punch to your own chest level. 7. 8. Step and punch. So we have a sequence of 3 strikes there, Junzuki. Okay. Let's stop there, rewind, and go back to the beginning. So, Kyotsuke, Yoi. So, position 1, to the left, Geidan Barai. Ich. Ni, Chudan punch. San, Geidan Barai in the opposite direction. Ensure that when you step, you give yourself enough width in your stance. If your balance is difficult, widen your stance. Shi, step and punch. Go, Geidan Barai to the forwards direction. Again, ensure you have enough width. Rock, Chudan Ski. Shich, Chudan Ski. Hach, Chudan Ski. And all the time, your weight should be held on the balls of your feet. Your heels should feel light, just touching the mat. Okay, let's do that one more time. So even now here, in your Kyotsuke and then your Yoi position, your heels should be just touching the mat, light. Already your weight is forward onto the balls of your feet. Right? So to the left, Geidan Barai. Ich. Ni, punch. San, Geidan Barai. Shi. Go. Rock. Shich. Hach. Good, okay. Good, you guys are looking good there, I think. Looks good, right. From here, we're going to turn with a rotation to our left. Rotate to our left. We'll turn back to this corner. So we're going to turn through more than 180 degrees. Chamber as we go for Geidan Barai. And drop into Geidan Barai at the angle now facing to the back corner. From here we step in and rise into Jodan Uke. From here, we're going to turn 90 degrees to our right. So we chamber the right hand against the shoulder, step through 90 degrees, and execute Gedan Barai. And we step through and rise into Jodanuke. Okay, from here, we are going to step into reverse punch, Gyakuzuki, in the back direction. So we just turn our hip and reverse punch. Then we step and reverse punch again. The second, again. The third, again. The fourth. So we have 4 reverse punches. Sorry to turn my back on you. Okay? All right. From here, we turn. We chamber for another Gedan Barai and turn to the angle. Now we're facing the front left-hand corner. We step through and punch Jodan. Then we pull in the hand, we chamber. We turn through 90 degrees and turn to the right front hand corner. And then step through for another Jodan-ski, which is the final technique. Okay, and then we come back and finish. All right, so let's go through that sequence again. We'll go from start to finish. I know this might be a lot to try and cover, but we'll run through this several times. Okay, so ready. Ichi, left hand, Gedan Barai. Ni, Chudan-ski. San, Gedan Barai. Shi, Chudan-ski. Go, Gedan Barai. Now 3 punches. Rock, shich, hach. Good. Turn, Gedan Barai. Jodanuke. Hai, step. Step into Gedan Barai. Migi, hidari, Jodanuke. Gyakuzuki. Hai, hey. And this is the kiai in this position. Hai, hai, hai. So 4 punches. Turn, Gedan Barai. Rise into Jodan-ski. Drop, Gedan Barai. Rise into Jodan-ski. Right, from here, finish. Okay. Right, so just so we can establish, how many of you are already kind of familiar with this kata and are following what we're doing? I'm trying to ascertain if this is the first time that any of you guys have seen this kata. I know for a fact that it's not for Justin. Ananya?
It's quite similar to our Kihon Kata, so it's
right.
Pretty similar.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Sam Sensei, how are you guys doing over there? I couldn't quite see. Yeah? Okay. Right. I can't quite hear you, but I'm assuming that... Yeah, it's very close, right? So this was the pattern on the template upon which a lot of the, let's say, our Kihon kata in different systems was developed. Right, we'll do the kata again together one more time, and then what I'll try and emphasize is kind of what we try and emphasize in the practice of this kata. All right, so let's do it together one more time. Hai kyotsuke. Fukyukata ichi. Yoi. Ichi. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rock. Shich. Hach. Kyu. Ju. Ichi. Ni. San. Hey. Shi. Go. Rock. Shich, hach, kyu, ju, right, now there, hai kyosuke, right, okay, so, good, all right, so as this kata is essentially assembled of some of our very basic techniques, we want to execute the basic techniques in the kata the same way that we focus on executing them when we're doing them as solo basics. Yeah. So when we are therefore moving from this start position into Gedan Barai, yeah, we want to chamber the arms appropriately, sort of building up that elasticity and that spring, and then we release the spring. So this is not just the hands moving from center to low. Yeah, I'm going to take the opportunity in this kata to use the expansion of the back, and then the compression of the back. Yeah, the back muscles are used here. We allow the back muscles to stretch, and as we drop and we use our hip, we lead from our hip to drop our weight down and diagonally. We use our back muscles to pull our arms into position. So this should be a whipping motion from the beginning. The execution of this kata in the Matsubayashiryu style should be, again, with a fairly whippy motion, right? More like a whip than an iron bar. Okay, so and that should be in every movement that we do in this movement. Okay, again, this kata also, because it's relatively simple, allows us to focus on working on fundamental skills, such as moving from our hip. So when we start to do this kata, we focus on our footwork, but I think most of you guys are doing that fairly well. And when I say footwork, that means fundamentally that when we turn, we don't turn into, so you can see, we don't turn into a stance that's too narrow for us to balance sufficiently, for example. Or even a stance that ends up crossed because we've rotated but not taken our feet with us, right? Of course we don't want that. We want to step into a position where we have balance and the feet remain at essentially shoulder width. So once we've got that in place, which is kind of level one, then actually what we want to do is start to learn to move from our hips. And we can bring that into this kata, even though it's a simple kata. And we can do that with every movement, right? So we can start to use the kata as a framework to work on moving from our hips. And that movement might be big and exaggerated in the kata, that's fine. You're working it, right? That's okay. But this is an opportunity in this simple framework to do that. Next thing that you can work on is that kime and chinkuchi, the structure, the focus and the structure. So kime in Japanese, but in Okinawan there's another word which is slightly different. It's called chinkuchi, which refers to a coordination of structure. And so that the point that we hit, we coordinate our whole skeletal and muscular structure. So now, if we again go back to the principle that every movement is both potential for parrying, blocking, but also hitting, then every movement should have chinkuchi, should have kime in it. Yeah? So whether we are moving into a sweeping like motion, whether we're into a straight punching like motion, we should put in the kime and the chinkuchi. Okay. Another level to this kata is that the kata moves down and up. Or rather, when you execute the kata, your center should move down and move up. Okay, so there's a wave of motion that you can work with. Okay, so to put it simply, okay, you drop down and then you rise up. So while this punch is not a Jodan punch, there's a rising energy because your center has gone down and then your center comes up. So you can use that motion to add more force and more, therefore, power into the strike there, for example. So the strike is not just the snap of your arm, but is the motion of your body. And the kata, as we proceed through it, I will exaggerate the up and down movement so to try and illustrate what I'm talking about, okay? So, right, I'll just sort of do this. Right. So I drop, rise. I drop, rise. Drop, rise, 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 drop. And there's clearly rising technique here. But here there's a drop, right? Drop, rise, drop, rise. So when we learn the kata, we do 1 and stop, 2 and stop, 3 and stop. And so the wave motion gets, truncated, it gets stopped halfway through. But the kata has this wave of motion. Lots of. When we do Geidan Barai, yeah, or rather Zen Kutsudachi, actually is more the key is Zen Kutsudachi. So Zen Kutsudachi, what is the actual function of Zen Kutsudachi, which is this forward stance? Why do we do it? Well, there's more than one answer, but one thing that fundamentally happens is that our center of gravity drops forward and down. Yeah? Yeah, it drops forward and down. So we can utilize that motion. When we want to press forward and down, we naturally take Zen Kutsudachi. We don't even think about it. That's just like how our body works, right? And this is part of, obviously, the natural aspect of our karate. So if for example, if I want to, say I'm in an armbar position, and I want to execute that energy down, I naturally drop into Zen Kutsudachi. I naturally employ my center and move my center down to add that leverage, right? So that's a key function of Zen Kutsudachi. It's not necessarily for reaching longer. We don't really do that in our style. We don't use Zen Kutsudachi sort of to be able to reach further. We don't do that. We do use it to drop our energy down and forwards, and then we come back up. So that's an interesting aspect of one of the things that we'll do in our kumite or our self-defense is that we'll drop down to then rise up, right? And this is a fundamental kumite or fighting kind of strategy, yeah? A down movement and then an up movement, or an up movement and a down movement, yeah? To break somebody's stance and then go through and usually take their balance, okay? So that's a fundamental movement in that kata. Although it's a simple kata, it employs that movement again and again and again, which implies that there is something there that we should learn to utilize. We should learn to study and utilize. I do want to say that this kata was created as a kata that could be learned and done by people that didn't have a karate background. So the context for this kata was that it was created as a community exercise during a time of war in Okinawa, as a way for the general populace to sort of get together, raise their fighting spirit and stay sort of relatively fit and healthy. But nonetheless, it is built on the DNA of older fighting techniques, right? So let's move on, because we're kind of already a little bit over time, which I hope is okay with you guys. Let's take a look at Naihanchi Shodan. Fukyukata was created in 1941. It's a modern kata, therefore. Naihanchi Shodan, we think, goes back to the 19th century. Matsumura Sokon, the bodyguard for the last three kings of the Ryukyu kingdom. Roughly, that's when we think that the practice of this particular form started to emerge and be done in Okinawa. It may have been built on older things, but that's when we start to see mention of the practice of this form. So it's a much older form, and was the fundamental form, the entry form, before the creation of more modern katas such as the Fukyukatas and the Pinan katas, also called the Heian katas in Shotokan. Okay, so let's take a look at Naihanchi Shodan. This is Teki Shodan in the Shotokan system. Okay, let's walk through it, and then we'll try and just emphasize the characteristics of this kata in our system. Okay, so we are going to do the mirror version, right? Which means we'll go to our left, but I want you guys to go to your right. Okay, so you guys are going to step to your right when you start, okay? We're going to go to the left just so that we can still see you and you can see us. The kata is the same on both sides anyway, right? Okay, let's see how we do. So, let's step back so we can see feet. Hai, Naihanchi Shodan, Yoi. So we bring the feet together, bend the knees, okay? And should be left fist and right open hand. Ich, cross step. Ni. San. And relax. Shi. 1, 2. Geidan barai and punch. Step. Shi. Go. Change and back fist. Ich. Sweep. Hey. Ich. Hey. 2 hands. Hey! Hey! Now we chamber and get ready for the second piece. Ichi. Ni. Relax. San. Geidan. And Masazuki. Step. Hey. Ichi. Sweep. Cover. Ichi. Back fist. Sweep. Push. Sweep. Drop. Chamber 2 hands. Throw. Hey. Hey. And finish. Good. When you execute this kata, you'll end up 1/2 step off of where you began. So that's you won't come back to exactly the same place. You'll be a 1/2 step across. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is ask my seniors here to do the kata again while I see how you guys are doing it. All right. So one more time. And they're going to do it mirror again. So you guys, you're all going to work to your right side first, okay? Okay, ready? We're going to go again. Stop. Good. Okay. And a little bit closer. Okay, hi. Yosh. Ja, Naihanchi Shodan. Yoi. Ichi. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rok. Shich. Hach. Kyu. Ju. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rook. Right, now they finish. And relax. Hi. Okay. Okay, so let's look at how we want to construct the stance for this. So, Tamashiro sensei. So, come back a little bit, just about here, so we can see your feet. Ja, achi mite kudasai. Naihanchi dachi o misemashou ne. Okay, so, kiotsuke, Naihanchi Shodan. Yoi. Okay. Ichi. Doshitemo ii desu yo. Achi ii desu. Okay, so let's look at this stance. So the stance is going to be a little narrower than, for example, the usual teki stance, as I see it in Shotokan, yeah? So the width is going to be a little less than the teki stance. Why? Because our feet are going to be our feet are going to be pretty much parallel, and we want to ensure that the knees are not turned out. Okay, so the stability here is important. This is why we talk about this as feeling like you're riding a small horse, because you're gripping with your knees, a feeling of gripping with your knees, right? So that you're controlling the lateral movement and the pressure there. This is important because when we apply testing to the structure, which is called shime, then this is the first thing fundamentally that we want to test, is that this structure, is not too easily broken. Yeah. If he just turns his knees slightly out, then there's much less structural strength there through in the sideways direction through the knees. Okay, so we want to have that feeling that we are controlling. That we are gripping and controlling the lateral movement of the knees. Okay, so the width is slightly wider than shoulders, but only just. Yeah, we don't require any more width. In fact, if there was more width, that would make it easier for our feet to be swept away from us. Okay, so secondly, with the hips. So with the hips, we want to minimize hip rotation. Minimize hip rotation. And the rotation move up to the upper torso. Okay? Why do we want to do this? Because we want to control and protect this structure. If the hips rotate a lot, then essentially the body turns into Zen Kutsudachi, right? Like this. You start to see this. We don't want that to happen. We want to maintain Naihanchi Dachi. And bear in mind that this kata is what is known as a kitai kata. Kitai kata. Kitairu means to hone, or to improve, or to make stronger. You apply kitai when you're hammering a sword and forging metal, right? This is a kitai kata. So we're working on a specific set of skills here, which is strength and stability in this stance. Yeah. So when we're working the stance, that's what we want to work on. That doesn't necessarily mean that we get very rigid and we cannot move at all, but it means that we work on having that correct structure. Yeah. The hips are relaxed though. So this is not like Sanchin Kata, where we come into Sanchin Kata, come into an offset stance and really lock the hips in there. This is different from Sanchin. Sanchin is another skill set. Yeah, it's another kitai kata. Yeah, for a more forwards mode of motion. Here, we're moving sideways, right? And so we don't want to lock the hip in, but it remains natural. But when we move, we try to move from here, so that when we turn, we should feel the stretch around our torso. Yeah, around our torso. Okay. So it's interesting that in this kata, we try not to do the flicky hip movements that we might do in other kata. Yeah, and that actually is good. It gives us the opportunity to train another skill, which is the movement from the torso, and introduce that, training the flexibility of the torso. Yeah, so the ability to twist and apply technique to our side without turning our hips, right? So that's an aspect of this stance. Okay, so bearing all that in mind, let's do that kata again and see if we can work a little more on achieving that stability and that control, particularly of the knees, the knee direction, and where the twisting happens. So the twisting happening up in the body and not so much in the hips turning. Okay, so one more time. Let's run the kata again. We'll go nice and slow. Right? Hai kyotsuke. Hai Naihanchi Shodan. Yoi. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rock. Shich. Hach. So there's a ki there. Kyu. Ju. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rock. Ki there. Hai. Finish. Now they. Hai kyotsuke. Hai. Okay, good. So essentially this kata is composed of basically two stances, right? The Naihanchi stance and our cross step as we transition sideways from one Naihanchi position to another. So on the cross step, we want to also maintain control and stability as we go. So let me just tilt this camera down just a little bit. There we go. Right. So just a note on the cross step. And again, this is in the context of this being a framework for training your skills. You know, this is a way for you to kind of really hammer and hone particular sets of skills. Okay. So we go from our ready position, right? When we step, therefore, fundamentally this is an unnatural position. This is not a stance that you normally use to walk or step. It's unnatural. Yeah? Therefore, we want to train this to achieve as much control and balance as we can, right? Before we come back down into Naihanchi, which is much more like a natural position. a little more accentuated, but closer, right? So when we're stepping, therefore, we want to train to have maximum control and balance, and therefore have the choice of where to put our foot down. If we are falling into our stance, that's not great. We want to have that control and choose where we're going to put our foot down next. The kata moves laterally. Yeah, it's simple. But we want to use this as a framework to work on our balance and the strength in our leg so that we can choose where to step. Because when we do that, we unlock a lot more skills and techniques in the kata. So for example, that within these simple movements, we have the opportunity to kick and block, right? To step in behind and trap, to step to sweep, kick, and come through, break open and widen somebody's stance, for example. So there's a whole bunch of additional skills we can derive from being better at the very basic stance. Yeah, so just to illustrate that, if that didn't make sense. Okay. So if my skill is there, then when he comes in, I can use that skill, right? Use those skills right, and choose where to employ those skills, right? Right? Choose where to employ those stances and those skills. The more control I have of that, right? I mean, it might be simple as something as ashibara. Ashikata. Cool. Yeah, so something simple as having an ability to just choose and have the balance, yeah, to be able to then decide where I'm going to put my foot. Yeah, so it's that kind of skill level. This is why we should look at this as a kitai kata. It's a way of building our fundamental balance and skills. And then we can unlock some interesting things like, and Sensei's not going to like me for this, but when we step in and start to do, things like this, more exotic use of the stance, yeah, to break. Here I'm being relatively nice. This, not nice, right? But if I have this skill set, then I can start to utilize more of those, the potential and possibility of using those skills. Yeah? Okay, and we haven't really even got to the hands yet, but fundamentally, when you learn this kata in Okinawa, in my experience, having been to a few different senseis here, the legs are the things you get right first, or try to get right first. Once you have the lower half working right, then you focus a little bit more on the upper half. Because if you don't get the lower half right, then you've kind of, you don't have the foundation, obviously, but you kind of miss the point of the kata, right? Because again, it's a foundational kata. There are 3 katas, Naihanchi, Shodan, Nidan, and Sandan, and that's reflected in most of the other systems that have come from this, I believe, Teki, Shodan, Nidan, Sandan as well, right? Okay, the footwork doesn't change. In all 3 of those katas, the footwork is the same. It doesn't change. What changes are variations and combinations of variations on the hand techniques, but the fundamental stance and the use of the feet is the same in those 3 kata. Okay, so that tells us that if you have that base, you then have the ability to work different combinations and variations built on that base. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. Hi. All right. We are running quite late now, so what I'd like to do is just spend the last 2 or 3 minutes taking any questions or thoughts or comments that you have. So let's finish our workout phase there, and actually we'll do a bow, and then we'll just do a short Q&A. Okay, so we'll bow to each other first. Hi, Kyotsuke. Rei, arigatou gozaimashita. Okay, and to shomen. Rei, gozaimashita. Hi. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments or thoughts, by all means, let's have a chat about them now. Dosa.
Yes, I say, if you don't mind, I had a quick question regarding Naihanchi's first step.
Yep.
So, I mean, the way we've trained it is that we go into a kind of kosadashi with the, I mean, you can see it over here, with
Yep.
the ball of the foot.
Yep.
I guess in Matsubayashiryu, you put the entire foot flat on the floor first,
So
and then you move into your stance?
So no, we do step onto the ball and then down to the foot, but
Oh, I see.
so we do that, but we transition through that. So this is as much my preference as anything else, okay? But is that I want to not get stuck there, which is an unstable position, right? This is more stable here, now center.
Okay.
So for me, I want to transition into this position, which is stable to then move on. But on the way there, ball of the foot, so the ball of the foot leads. And in fact, I'm glad you asked that, because in Naihanchi too, the weight remains forward onto the center of the foot, right? My center of gravity, if I draw it here, so if I can get this right, draw it here, goes down through just forwards of the center of my foot. So my heel, even in Naihanchi, which looks very rooted, the heel should still be relatively light on the ground, so that we maintain that mobility, right? The ability to step quickly. That comes from having the weight forward into the center of the foot. When we do the shime, the testing, we don't just test. I talked about testing this way, but we also test this way, the forwards and backwards. Because fundamentally the stance is stronger to the side, but weaker this way, But we want to be grounded and into the ball of the feet, so that we do have some improved stability, so that when we're being pushed, we can swallow that energy down and into our structure. If we were sat on our heels, we would simply get pushed over. So we want to be able to, momentum coming this way, we want to be able to swallow it into our structure and then potentially give it back, but not get pushed off of our heels, which we would do if we were sat on our heels.
Yeah, sense.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Any other questions? All good? All right, fantastic.
I guess if no one's asking a question, can I just ask one more?
Go for it.
We talked about in the beginning with the Kihon. The way I've practiced is always like a high one nagashi uke. But
Yes.
Matsubayashiryu,
Yeah.
Can you explain me what you were doing? It was a bit fast. I wasn't going to understand.
Yeah, no problems.
You were using this
Yes.
nagashi uke.
No problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So let me just eject here. Okay, yeah. So we step across and we come into this position here, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
From here, we cover our center, change, and we end up in this position, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, this hand comes up, it tucks underneath, and we do a forward strike, yeah? So fundamentally, we're trying to achieve the same objective as doing this and striking here, right? We're trying to strike this way and cover as we do it. So we cover here, we don't do the pullback, we strike forwards. If my understanding, and I'm sure there are different understandings, if my understanding of this pullback is that it's a uke, you're covering inside the other person's strike and then riding that inside and hitting, then we essentially are trying to do the same thing, but we just don't do the cover, we just go more straight line.
I see.
So just to illustrate, okay, let's maybe do it this way. So if I understand the Shodan approach, right, we've gone 1, we've gone 2, cover up here, and then drop in and strike, for example. Yeah. So for us, 1, 2, and then just straight strike. So we don't do the high cover. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the objective, I think, is the same. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
You're welcome.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay, fantastic. Great. Thank you so much for attending. Really appreciate your hard work and patience. I hope that this was useful to you. I am planning to do another one of these 1 month from now, again on the last Sunday of April. And we will move forward and start to look at our Pinan kata and associated practices with the Pinan kata. Again, we will draw. There are sets of the Matsubayashiryu basic practices which we didn't cover today, so we will progress in covering some of those in the next session. And then, from a kata perspective, I said move on to look at Pinan kata and our understanding of kata and the movements in there. Sorry, we ran out of time. We're not going to do any bojutsu today, but again, we can save that for another day. Okay. At this stage, we'll say thank you and good night, unless you have anything else to say.
No, thank you very much. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you. I'm always appreciative of your feedback, so please. Yeah, thank you. So do feel free to follow up with any questions, comments by email or messenger afterwards, and I'll do my best to respond to those. Thank you, guys, especially you that got up early this morning. Much appreciated. Arigatou gozaimashita. Good night. Thank you.